Well, the war drums are beating on many fronts. We got the China, South China Sea, we got North Korea, Iraq, Syria, Afghanistan, Libya, Eastern Europe. I'm going to go over a couple articles here. U.S. warns China is losing patience over North Korea. And then just came out today, Defense Secretary James Mattis, North Korea has got to be stopped. Mattis, Iran continues to be the primary state sponsor of terrorism, has been since 2012. Rex Tillerson, U.S. to maintain Ukraine-related sanctions on Russia until Crimea is returned. And Putin spokesman, U.S.-Russia relations may be worse now than during the Cold War. U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations on Thursday said China can and must do more to force North Korea to halt its nuke program and missiles. UN ambassador said Trump would raise the issue next week at his summit with Chinese leader. Amid reports that Pyongyang is reporting another banned nuclear test later this month, Washington would not settle for holding another UN debate. I have no patience for it. It's not helping anyone. It's not about me. This administration has no patience for it. Look, can we change the way North Korea thinks? No, they're not going to cave. China can, and that's what part we want to look at. I know China says they're worried about North Korea. I know China wants to see North Korea stop with the testing. Prove it. Prove it. China, Haley said, could prove it's serious about restraining its rogue neighbor by enforcing an embargo against North Korean coal exports. China announced it was halting coal on North Korea on February 18th, although in that month as a whole, the trade still increased by 40%. Beijing still allows the North to trade coal through other ways and demanded it take this as seriously as the rest of the world does. Trump and Xi will meet next week in Florida and between the heads of the world's two greatest superpowers. The talks are crucial, setting the tone for future relations. Haley warned that on North Korea, Trump would demand results. I think you're going to see them talk very much about the responsibility that China has. The fact is that we don't have the patience to sit here and go around and around anymore. The fact is we want action. Asked if North Korea goes ahead and conducts another bomb missile test, Haley seemed to leave the door open to tougher U.S. and unilateral action. If something happens, if this continues down the path that we're going on, I can tell you we're not going to just sit down and say, oh, they did it again. This is something that's very serious. This is something the Min is making a priority. This is something we absolutely expect China and Russia to respond to. I'll play this short little video here.
Let me be very clear. The policy of strategic patience has ended. We're exploring a new range of diplomatic, security, and economic measures. All options are on the table. If they elevate the threat of their weapons program to a level that we believe requires action, that option is on the table. While we acknowledge China's opposition, its economic retaliation against South Korea is inappropriate and troubling. We ask China to refrain from such action.
All right. And then this defense secretary, North Korea has got to be stopped. After years of North Korea thumbing its nose at the international community, defense secretary appeared to signal enough was enough. Right now, North Korea appears to be going in a very reckless manner, and that has got to be stopped, he said in a press conference in London. He didn't give any details of how Trump plans to deal with the reclusive nation that has drastically increased its missile and nuclear program. So I won't read all these articles here because the video will be too long, but I'll leave the links in the description. And this is just going on about Iran. This is the same type of stuff, leading up to the Iraq war. It kind of seems like, they kind of keep drumming it up, and just prepping everybody, so when they do take military action, everyone will be on board kind of thing. I'm not saying that North Korea is good because they aren't, and Iran or any of these people, but it just seems like the war rhetoric and saber rattling just every day keeps nonstop to just condition the public to accept it, whatever war plans they got. Might be Iran, it might be with Russia, it might be North Korea, who knows. It just seems like they're setting the table, conditioning the masses with constant bombardment of this stuff to get us ready for a conflict in the near future. U.S. to maintain Ukraine-related sanctions on Russia until Crimea is returned. Secretary of State Tillerson said that U.S. sanctions against Russia will remain in place until Moscow reverses the actions it's taken in Ukraine. So this isn't going to happen. They're never going to have it. They had a referendum. They're part of Russia now, so this is not good. And Putin spokesman, U.S.-Russia relations may be worse now than the Cold War. The relationship between the U.S. and Russia may be more antagonistic now than it was during the decades-long Cold War, Vladimir Putin's top spokesman said Friday. Asked by ABC's George Stephanopoulos if the U.S. and Russia were in a new Cold War, Dmitry Peskov said the current situation may be worse, blaming the U.S. for disintegrating cooperation between the U.S. countries. New Cold War? Well, maybe even worse, taking into account actions of the present presidential administration in Washington. told him. Peskov cited a decision to expel 35 diplomats from the U.S. in December, which was made under Obama and not Trump. The relationship between Trump and Russia has been subject to intense scrutiny since before he took office in January. The Intelligence Committee unanimously concluded that Kremlin meddled in the election, and he has spoken warmly to Putin, expressing a desire to improve relations. Oh, we know about this. They're conducting the probes and all that. So it doesn't look like this is going to be cooling down anytime soon because they ain't giving back Ukraine, or giving back that Crimea there. That's their Black Sea military base, and they had a referendum. It's like 90% Russian people there. It was under the Russian Empire for hundreds and hundreds of years, only until 1950. The Khrushchev guy gave it to Ukraine. So it was only been Ukrainian for like half a century, and it was Russian before that for hundreds of years. And they did a referendum to take it back, and the people voted that they wanted to rejoin Russia, not be part of Ukraine. So this is what this is all about here. So hopefully it calms down, but I just thought I'd give you guys a quick update on what's going on in China, North Korea, Iran, and Russia. Take care, everyone. Let me know what you think. Have a great weekend. God bless. Thanks for watching. Bye.